holding this press conference today is because something extreme happened, and I'm very close friends with a person that's affected. To my right is I'll call her grandma or guardian, and she's next to her wonderful granddaughter, which we'll call the 10-year-old student Kay. I kindly asked that the media not provide identification of grandma or student K because of confidential reasons, and also because grandma is currently in a DV, domestic violence situation, and I gave her my word that we will not identify her or granddaughter K just by those names, granddaughter or K and grandma. To my right is Darlene Chen Scovell. She's an early educator. She has special needs students, and she could explain what would be the proper protocol when one of those students goes through a medical episode. To my left, I've got Dr. Ann and Dr. Ken, and they'll state everyone will state their names for the record and spell it, so if you have any questions, we have the right names. Their experts or expertise is in fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and it was just by divine intervention I got to meet them a few weeks ago at a KQ caucus meeting where they brought up FASD, and unbeknownst to that group, I was aware of it because I'm close with grandma here, and I was able to connect with them, and from there we had a meeting, and it was timely because shortly thereafter we were informed of what had happened. At the time I didn't have an answer for grandma, who pleaded with me that something needed to be done with the DOE, with the bus driver, and with the health aide, because nobody seemed to have addressed Kay's unique situation. Looking back at that, and now looking forward today, I think this is the right thing to do. We didn't want to use a scathing letter to governor or DOE. We think this is actually bringing out awareness and education about FASD and proper protocol. So we think this is the right thing to do. At this point, I'm going to have Doctors Ann and Ken state their name and spell out their last name for you, as well as Darlene. And then I think we can go to Grandma and Kay, and then from there we can pivot back to questions to either Dr. Ann, Dr. Ken, or Darlene. So did you want to state your name and spell it for them?
My name is Ann, Yabusaki, A-N-N, Yabusaki, Y-A-B-U-S-A-K-I. I'm a psychologist and family therapist, and I work with children with FASD and their families.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Ken Yabusaki, that's L-K-E-N, and Y-A-B-U-S-A-K-I. I'm a retired biochemist. I've been in the field of developing medical tests for probably over 30 years, and my expertise is actually understanding the biochemistry of what fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is all about.
Thank you, Doctor. And to my right is Darlene.
My name is Darlene Chen Scovell, Darlene D-A-R-L-Y-N, Chen C-H-E-N, Scovell S-C-O-V-E-L-L. I'm a 22 years early childhood educator. I'm also a registered behavioral technician that works with autism, and I'm a graduate student and a very active participant in our advocacy for fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, which is also known as FASD. We are here to educate and create an awareness about similarities and differences between FASD and autism, that they both have the same care requirement, and every disability has an IEP, but it has a totally different treatment because they're totally different diagnoses.
Thank you very much. And I think at this point, if we can pivot to Grandma and student K, and again, I humbly ask for your kind cooperation in not providing their identities or blurring out their faces. And Grandma and... Oh, yeah. Thanks. You might want to explain how you were upset, what had happened, and your contact with me, curious about what happened to granddaughter, and then from there they'll probably have questions about you and Kay.
I'm Grandma, this is Kay, and Kay had a seizure while coming home from school on the bus. Kay is in the seatbelt on the bus, which I totally appreciate and thankful they do, but in the same time when she had her seizure, they did not take her out of the bus, out of the seatbelt. They left her seatbelted in. They did not notify me she was having a seizure while on the bus. They did park in front of my apartment where nobody got out of the bus, neither the bus driver nor the aide, and came and told me she was having a seizure. They sent my 6-year-old granddaughter and made her responsible to come and tell me. First off, you don't make a 6-year-old responsible for nothing, because they're not going to be responsible for anything. And I sent my 34-year-old daughter out to see what was taking so long and why Kay wasn't coming in the house. And she comes in the house carrying Kay in a seizure. And as soon as they got Kay off the bus, she took her out of the seatbelt, brought her in the house, and Kay's in a seizure. The bus pulls off. Tells me nothing. No details why Kay's what's going on, how long Kay's been in the seizure, nothing. They just pull off. They call about 20 minutes later to tell me that my daughter got Kay off the bus, but they didn't speak to me. They spoke to my daughter. Why they didn't speak to me was because I was dealing with Akela, getting her out of her seizure. So they pulled off, and I let Kay rest for about 20 minutes, contact her doctor, her primary care doctor, who suggested that I take her to the emergency room, so I do. And then I contact her neurologist, Dr. Ryan Lee, and took her to the emergency room, and he wanted to see her the next day after we took her to the emergency room, so we took her to see him, and she is now on seizure medication probably for the rest of her life. The problem I'm having is they didn't inform me of anything, neither the aide nor the bus driver, and they didn't take her out of her seatbelt. They could have killed her.
Sorry, she's 6?
She's 10.
Oh, so they got her age wrong then.
Correct, she's actually 10 years old.
Yes.
So how did you find out about this?
My daughter brought her in.
What is the proper protocol for aides to do to follow up?
The normal thing they should have done, first off, was take her out of her seatbelt. Later on her side. I mean, if she was convulsing, she could have choked to death in that seatbelt. Then what?
Sorry, so this is an aide who follows her?
No, this is the aide that's on the bus.
Okay. And this is a DOE school bus?
This is a Roberts bus.
Under DOE.
And what school is this, or what the aide works for whom?
Roberts.
Well,
School bus.
Maylani's asking what elementary
The
school.
the aide is a school aide, or the aide works
No,
for Roberts?
Roberts
Athletic?
school bus.
Okay.
And what school?
Green Kahumano. But it's not for the school. This is for Roberts school bus.
Contracted under.
Under
DOE.
Roberts.
Didn't
Is this I don't know the differences, but is this a bus that has all special needs children on
Right.
board, or?
This is only for special needs school bus.
And the aide is a Roberts employee?
Right.
So Darlene, I think, has expertise. in-
Well, I used to have,
Next.
Hang on, just
sorry,
Oh, sorry.
you just maybe.
Okay, sorry.
So what did you do, so you never were informed by Roberts about the incident, you heard it from your daughter?
My
because
daughter brought her in a seizure, carrying her inside the house.
How frequently does she get seizures?
This was her first one due to the FAS.
So the DOE has,
She used to get seizures due to from febrile, if her temperature gets too high. But this is due to FAS.
And could you give us the date on when this happened?
The 13th.
The 13th
September.
of September.
So she was coming home from Queen
Kahumanu.
Elementary to your house.
did you notify school officials and did they have anything to say about the situation?
Yeah, it didn't happen at school, it happened on the bus.
But a school contracted bus, so did they? I mean, it's contracted by the DOE, so they have some responsibility, correct? I mean, so did they give you an explanation as to why they didn't handle it properly?
They have no idea. Once the school bus leaves the school, they have no idea what happens on the bus.
I had done a different story in regards to someone completely different, and we had heard from Roberts that they do not know the identities of the children on board. They're not allowed to contact them for privacy reasons. So, was there any communication at all with the DOE and you?
No.
So you haven't talked to the DOE at all? Have you reached out to anyone?
Every time I try to call the DOE, I either get a recording or nothing. But generally, I get a recording.
So you're calling the school, or you're calling?
Oh no, I talked to the principal at the school. So Kayla now is shadowed for everything when she's outside, when she goes to the bathroom, when she goes to lunch, when she goes to take her medicine, because the office is on the second floor. And my fear is she going up the steps and she has a seizure. She's coming down the steps, she's having a seizure. She goes in the bathroom and she has a seizure and nobody sees her. Because she's not really tall. She's a tiny little somebody. And if she's going up the steps and she has a seizure and the kids think she's playing, or she's in the bathroom and the kids think she's playing and she has a seizure and nobody sees her, and then who knows what happened.
When did you talk to the principal at Queen Ka'ahumanu Elementary?
The next day.
And so you explained the situation?
Right.
And did the principal know what happened?
On the bus, no. Until I informed her.
And just to clarify, this is the first time that anybody's known she had this condition.
The FAS? Oh no, they know. They've known since day one.
Oh, maybe, but it's the first seizure, okay.
Right. They've known the FAS since she started Queen Ka'ahumanu. I make that clear every year, at the beginning of every school year. She has an IEP, everything. They've known since day one.
So, the seatbelt, is it like a lap belt, or is it
It's a lap belt.
It crosses
Right.
the body. So she got off the bus because of the aide brought her off the bus?
No, my daughter.
Okay.
My
so your
daughter went and got
off
her
the
off the bus.
What was your, as all of this is unfolding, what was going through your mind?
Anger. And the longer it took to bring her for her to come out of her seizure, the angrier I got. I think my anger mainly was because they did not, as adults, come and tell me. They expected a 6-year-old to come and tell me.
They didn't think about calling the ambulance or anything?
They didn't do anything. They parked their bus in front of my door and they handed my 6-year-old granddaughter her book bag and expected my 6-year-old granddaughter to come and tell me.
Were you
Your
informed?
other granddaughter?
Right.
Were you informed how long the episode lasted?
Nothing. They did not tell me a single anything.
What was the explanation from DOE, or you haven't received any explanation?
I haven't received anything from them.
Ultimately, what would you like from Roberts, and what would you like from the DOE?
At this point, from Roberts, I haven't really thought about it. To be honest, I haven't thought about it.
What do you think should have happened?
What I think should have happened is an adult came and knocked on my door and said, Kayla's having a seizure. I don't know what to do. What should we do? That's what I think should have happened. I don't think my 34-year-old daughter should have went out and took her out of her seatbelt and brought her in my home. I think an ambulance should have been out there waiting as well. That didn't happen.
Have you talked to an attorney at all, or are you thinking?
I
about
haven't
legal?
talked to an attorney. I've been recommended to talk to an attorney, but I have not done so yet. I haven't really given it thought. Right now, my concern is her.
Just going over the fine details, how long is the drive from Queen Ka'ahumanu to your apartment?
I can go from Queen Ka'ahumanu to my apartment in my wheelchair in 15 minutes.
Wow.
So as
sometime.
far as driving in a car, I have no idea.
Okay. So sometime
I
in
could beat the
between
city
that.
bus. I could beat the city bus. I've timed that so I
I
can beat the
believe
city
you.
bus.
Okay, so sometime in between that,
Right.
possibly like maybe 10.
Well, I
or
don't know
7
how many
minutes.
stops they make in between.
Right.
with
That's
the
true.
other students on board.
Right.
So I have no clue, but I know in my wheelchair I can do it in 15.
Okay, all right.
How long was she, do you think, in seizure?
I have no idea.
I mean, how
And the
dangerous?
doctors have no idea. There's no way they can really tell.
But she was in your house, still
She was
seizing.
in my house for about 3 minutes and still seizing.
So how did you get her out of it?
She just comes out on her own.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like an hour or an
Oh,
hour.
no.
It's a
If a seizure
minutes.
lasts that long, they generally don't come out. They generally go into a coma.
So it was a minutes long seizure.
Right.
And then she went to the ER
I
after.
took her to the ER about 20. I let her rest, and I took her about 20 minutes later.
Were there other students in the bus?
There was a couple students still on the bus.
And your 6-year-old, sorry to keep asking, but your 6-year-old granddaughter, she was
Left to be responsible.
on the bus.
No,
No, on.
she was already home. Her big thing every day is to meet Kay's bus. That's her big reward. Is her meeting her cousin's bus every day.
And is the normal, I guess on a regular day, does your daughter go on the bus to take her
No.
off? So usually she gets off by herself.
All by herself.
Are you okay if we ask Kay some questions?
Are you going to answer the questions? Okay.
Kay, do you remember that bus ride at all? What was happening on the bus before you went into a seizure? No? Do you remember anything else after the seizure? I know your grandma's very upset and your family members are very concerned. What's going through your mind right now as you're going through this?
Kay, were you frightened a little bit? Were you a little bit scared at the time? You're brave. You're a brave little girl. Does your doll help you with your bravery? Yeah. She's pretty. Just like you.
What do you remember?
Maybe Grandma has Kay shared anything with you about that bus ride?
She would get on the bus for a week after.
I mean, how frightening was it for you and your family?
I think I was more angry than frightened. And the fact that I had to wait a week and a day to even get the injury report, but had she had a behavior on the bus, I'd have got that report the next day. I'd have got that report quickly, but this took a week and a day to get the injury report. And then the injury report was like basically, okay, Kayla had a seizure on the bus, and we called the bus company and we called Grandma. But they didn't talk to me. They talked to my daughter to tell me that my daughter got her off the bus. And that was it.
Grandma, did you want to share with them that Kay had already had signs, she had dizziness?
Right,
when they
oh
went
yeah.
to the
She
health
had
room?
dizziness, informed the teacher she had dizziness. They sent her to the health room. The health room people weren't there. So they sent her back to her class, her teacher put her on the bus. So if that was a precursor, it probably was. But nobody informed me.
So I think Grandma's upset because the whole time she was never contacted.
Nobody contacted me at all, period.
So you got an incident report from the DOE a week later?
A week later, a
And then
week and a day.
And they also talked to your daughter?
Right, to tell me that that she took Kay off the bus, which I knew that already.
Right.
And your daughter's Kay's mother. Is your daughter Kay's mother?
No,
Okay.
she's her auntie.
Did you ever talk to the bus driver the
No.
next time, or?
Nope. Still to this day, she has not spoken to me.
Thank you.
Can we ask the experts? now? Are we
Absolutely.
good?
Should I turn the mics
Yeah,
around?
if possible.
Who did you want to go first, with the doctor or with
I think,
Darling?
whoever wants to answer.
freestyle? You guys
Yeah.
can just get up because again, I think Darling can kick it off because she's got experience with special needs children.
Okay.
And then we'll turn to Dr. Ann and Dr. Kent. Go ahead.
Hang
Oh,
on
you
just
have to speak to the mic.
Okay. When we were told that the child already had dizziness at the school, normally we do not put them on the school. We stay with the child, especially it's not an IEP. She have FAS on her IEP. She's diagnosed with it, and with that, there's many layers of symptoms that can occur to the child. When I had a child with a seizure, I usually, as a teacher, as an educator, I keep my kids closer to me because I'm the most trained. I'm the one who knows their file. I'm the one who knows their condition. I'm the one who have relationship with the families. So in the first onset, I see the child's eye kind of funny. You'd see it. I'd usually tell my assistant or my assistant teacher to take over to the child. I'll get the child on comfortable level, and I make sure that they contact the front office to call. And then based on that IEP, there are instruction. After 3 minutes, call the ambulance, depending on the child's symptoms, right? Because anything can happen. So if I see that the child is 3 minutes, there's no change, there's no movement, because seizure can vary. Sometimes it's so slight you can't see it, it's just blinking, right? And there are ones that actually have body movements. So just keeping it safe, have ventilation, hold the hand of the child because the child probably scared herself, right? So having to comfort the child gives that child a little bit more comfort and a kind of relaxing moment, especially if the child has a relationship with the teacher. And while that EMS, after that particular child that I was helping in my class, after 4 minutes I have to call the ambulance, and she has to be loaded. Given that estimation of the ambulance time coming from where they are originated from to school. So after that 3 minutes, it's already time to call the ambulance, right? If the child has no changes and continues on. And I think they're very lucky. They really are. You know, I've not had a chance to have a child in that danger because, like I said, training is important. Educating providers, professionals, and paraprofessionals to be able to attend on a child's emergency, no matter what disability they have. But the thing that I have noticed, and the reason why I'm very active with FASD, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, is that I am board passer to work with autistic children. I'm an RBT. They have many overlaps of similarities, but very different treatment, very different skill sets, very different onset also. So we're actually here to support all educators, all health providers, all teachers, assistants, whoever may need it.
So is an aide on a Roberts bus, are they a health provider or what? how should they have reacted in this situation, and what was your reaction when you heard of their reaction?
Well, this is my thought. If you are a staff handling children with disabilities, you must have baseline protocol on how to take care of your children. First, when the bus is moving, you should be facing the children, right? If you're riding the bus facing forward, you do not see what's happening to the kids. Because that's how we are as an educator. If I have special needs children, I should be able to hear and see them at all times. Right?
And the aide could have done that. The driver could have been driving, but the aide could
Right.
have been
The aid should be, like I said, it's it's a bus that handles and transports children with disabilities. They should have training. I wonder what training they have.
So why do you think the aide didn't do anything?
I don't think of anything. I did not say that they did not do anything. I wondered what they have
Did
done.
they have an aide?
Pardon me?
Did they have an aide?
According to Grandma, they did.
According to Grandma, they have. Because there's a driver, right? And there's a person who helps the children. That's how I see. Because I have, like I said, I have children with disabilities. The bus comes and there's an aide that helps them get off the bus. So my question and curiosity here, you know, like I said, I'm not placing blame. I'm not in the bus. These are shared information. Is that I wonder what kind of training they have.
Grandma, do you know what kind of training that aide had? Are they?
Apparently none. I asked, when I called Roberts and asked them if they had training, they said yes, and I said, really? And she said yes. I said, I sincerely doubt they do, because they sure didn't do anything for her.
So, again, if I may kindly add, again, it's not to vilify the administration or the DOE. Perhaps it's a wake-up call. I think, thank God nothing fatal happened to the student named as Kay. But again, moving forward, I believe that Roberts will be given the proper protocol should an incident like this or a medical episode happen to any other students. I agree with Darlin that if you're a bus driver with an aide and your purpose is to take our students with disabilities home, you need to have protocol or procedure in place. So again, keep in mind, folks, we're not here to belittle or attack the administration or the DOE. We believe that at the conclusion of this press conference, protocol will be followed, and an incident like this will not come up and be the same thing. They will address it properly. We really truly believe that. Again, this is not an attack. We don't think of any lawsuits. Our intentions are pure. Going forward, I think this is going to be a learning experience for DOE as well as the other departments.
So you've spoken with DOE and Roberts?
No, we have a DOE representative here, but no. And again, I'm not here to.
Who's the DOE representative?
Hanea.
Oh. Okay.
So again, we respect and support DOE. We think, again, today is a learning experience, and moving forward, this will be beneficial to all. I think Doctors Ann and Ken, you want to add?
I'd like to ask Dr. Ann and Dr. Ken, and this is for either one of you. Could you go over what FASD is again, just to clarify how you get it, and I guess what the percentage of people in Hawaii who have this disease?
Yes, yeah. Well, fetal alcohol spectrum disorders is actually a brain disorder that's acquired when the mother is drinking alcohol during pregnancy. And so we're talking about a fetal injury. And Ken, my husband, is a biochemist, so he understands it in a different way than I do. I'm more.
They take this seriously, and incidents going forward after this press conference will be adhered to. So we think that the DOE has the proper foundation for procedural action given a situation like Kay's. Again, we do this with pure intentions, not to vilify, but to make right a situation like this. Nonetheless, though, Dr. Ann and Dr. Ken are correct, as well as Darlin. We probably need to provide more education and awareness about FASD. It should be treated similar to autism. We've got a lot of support for autism at the DOE. perhaps this is a good starting point in getting FASD the same support.
I'm a little just unclear, but because Kay has fetal alcohol syndrome, but did her caretakers, the aides on the aide on the bus know that, or do you think that their reaction would have been different, knowing?
Roberts or the aide. However, we are stringent on this. We can't allow this incident to repeat itself, and that's what Grandma made clear to me, what she wanted. She's not asking for a lawsuit or any monetary damages. She doesn't want Kay or any other student with a disability, or any student for that matter, to fall into this situation. Thank God it wasn't fatal, but I think moving forward, we're going to see that protocol will be followed, and we're not going to see an incident like this happen again, hopefully.
What sort of action are you planning now? Because you haven't actually had direct communication with the DOE, so what's the next step moving forward besides having this news conference?
Maylani, I think this is a golden opportunity. We've got the DOE representative here. The state already has great resources. We've got the Department of Health, we've got Disability Council, we've got the DD Division, we've got Department of Human Services, the Medicaid Division, which provides medical health insurance for 1 out of every 4 residents in the state of Hawaii. In addition, we've got the Attorney Generals, our legal team. All 3 departments working with the DOE, that could be a compelling team to properly address not only FASD and autism, but ensure that all kids are given proper protocol and treatment should one go through a medical episode. And even a student that doesn't have a disability, it's paramount that we ensure proper protocols so he or she will get the best access to healthcare should they fall into some medical condition. So again, it's not a negative dig. It's like, again, I look at it as a pivot to a golden opportunity, working with state resources that we already have.
So you're going to ask DOE to put kids with FASD in the same category as autism,
Good.
and then to retrain their staff to have the follow all the protocol? Is that what you're going to do?
Good question. That's what Dr. Ken and Dr. Ann were talking to me about a few weeks ago when we met at the Keiki Caucus, that they believe FASD is so prevalent, it should be recognized similar to autism. So we think this may not even be a bill. I told them I could draft a bill to have FASD recognized as autism. Nonetheless, nothing precludes DOE from doing this administratively. They can just say, folks, FASD is a disability, and we are to treat it same as autism.
So you're going to request that?
Well, we got the DOE representative here, and I did indicate to both Dr. Ann and Dr. Ken that I would have a bill draft to have FASD recognized similar to autism. But again, at the end of the day, we may not need that because the administration may just do this on their own. So nonetheless, this is good that we do this, and Mehelani, this is good that we talk about this because this is an opportunity to make right and make better a system for our keiki.
So with fetal alcohol syndrome, is it, when you say it's not recognized as the same as autism, does that mean that the child